Hello, all right. Today we will implement for the secure web API with .NET. So do you remember I already upload for the API with Microsoft .NET and PostgreSQL, but in that API there is no authentication and authorization. So today we will implement for this slide. What is that? Yes, for the secure web API. So with JWT tokens and role based access. So here is my required to implement, and you can follow fine do it the same way in this video. So let us start. So do you remember here is my previous project? This is the API with there is no authentication and authorization. So do you remember the user can click in that at this time and the data will be here, and then the user can create like what is that? This is the 2, so let us create the 3 orange like that. Yes, okay, and then the user can just like this. So but every user can access in this API because there is no authentication and authorization. So today I want to implement JWT tokens and role based access. So that's why let me start this project, and then we need to firstly is we need to add for the required dependency. This is Control Shift P and then add a dependency. Control Shift B and dependency name is this is what is that? JWT PEAR. At this time we can add Microsoft Access authentication, so authentication of JWT. Okay. This time I will choose the 910. Okay. The system will add the like this. And another is we need to also add for the what is that, for the identity framework code. Okay. So for the identity dot framework code. Okay, we need to choose this one, Microsoft.NET Core.Identity Code. Oh, this is also 910. Okay. Okay, and then we need to also add for the identity. Okay, that's all. This is the dependency. Okay, and then I will create for we need to add for the configuration in there. So at this time I need to add for the like this, but the name is JWT, and then this is the JSON object. In the object I will create these kinds of data, so like that. Yes, this is the JWT. Let me choose the JWT. Okay, and then we need to configure for the data access object. Do you remember that in that object we need to inherit another kinds of class. This is what is that? And this is the we need to add for that identity TV content. And content, this is we need to inherit them from this identity TV content. So identity framework go. What is that? Okay, we need to reference this one. Okay. Okay, in there we need to add for the we need to reference. So at this time we need to create another kind of model. This is application user. So this one application user. So application user is the kind sort for the inheritance to the identity user. So we need to inherit this identity user. This is the identity user. So I'm going to remove this one. Okay, and then we need to use this in there like that. So this is the suggestion that's mentioned by that previous code. So that's why we will use for the primary constructor. So I will replace like that. So at this time we will do like that. Okay. Okay, this is the class, and I want to create another kind of folder. This is the service folder. So let us create for the folder name. Folder name is service. Folder name service. In there, I want to add in there for the interface. The interface name is for the what is that? Interface name is I IO service. In there, I want to create for that logins and registration. So that's why I will paste like that. Okay. At this time, we need to create for the model. So registration model. So model is the data transfer object. So that's why I will create the new folder for the DTO. This is the transfer object. In there, I will create this class. Right click, new class, register model. Another is we need to create. At that time we need to reference this DTO. Another is register model. Another is login model. So that's why here is the login model. Okay, at this time the extraction inheritance like this. Okay, and then in the registration model we need to create for when the user create. We need to declare for the property. Let me prepare in there. Here is the property. Okay, so let me. Okay, we need to annotation, and one user registration. It will be require username, email, and password. So that's why this is the model when the user send the data from the API. And another is the login model. In the login model, we will use for the username and password. So that's why let me copy in there. So the format, the document, and then here is the registration. Here is the dependency. So that's why we don't need for all kinds of the reference. We need to remove unnecessary references. So at this time, we need to update for the response. So that's why I want to create for the response model. So that's why I will create right click new response model. Response model. Here the response model. In the response model, I will create for the status and message. So that's why I will create status and message. Okay, I don't need these kinds of reference or like this. Okay, we already create the require model, login model, registration model, and response model. So at this time, here is the abstraction. Abstraction is the kinds of it's a kind of no implementation, and so that's why we need to create the class that says the implementation of this abstraction. So that's why all service. The all service need to implement all service because this is the implementation class. So that's why I create like this. So in this I registration in the all service I already prepared for these kinds of code. So let me copy for this one. So to copy. So we need to I will replace it like that because so this me one user login into the system, and we need to create for the user. We need to require for the application user. So that's why this is the reference. It came from this namespace Microsoft.ASP.NET.Identity. So that's why I need to reference for these kinds of to use the user manager class. And then another is we need to reference this is the application user. So that's why this is our created, our defined model. So that's why I need to reference like this. So okay. So do you remember I already said that when the user role is admin, we can create product, we can create, we can delete, we can update, so like that. When user is public user, we cannot delete, we cannot create, or we cannot update. So that's why at that time we need to use for the claim. So this is the claim object. This is need to reference at the system.security.claim. Okay. So this is another kind of for the JWT. So that's why we need to reference for the JWT. So this is the symmetric key. This is also the JWT token. So that's why we need to reference this one. So this is the encoding. Encoding me. Do you remember in there we define for the JWT and for the keys and security secret key. So that's why we need to read this key and this secret. So that's why we need to read with the configuration object, and then we need to encode the UD system.dat. Okay. So this is our in the implementation according to the authorization service. So this is not required. Okay, that I think. Okay. So I will remove unnecessary like that. So let me explain about this. This is the constructor. In the constructor, we inject the three kinds of require. This is the user manager. When user login, it will be required. And when the user login, the user is user admins or public user. At that time, we need to use for the role manager. So this is the role manager to use. He is admins or public users or like that. Another kind for the configuration. Configuration is used to read from the application setting.json. So if you want to read these kinds of JSON object, this kind of JSON object, at that time we need to declare for the configuration interface. So by declaring this configuration, we can read with the key name. The symbol here is the key name. We need to resort like that. Yes. So our authentication service is ready. So at this time, I need to create new controller, API controller. This is auth controller. Auth controller. In the auth controller, we need to have for two kinds of. We need to inject for the authentications and this interface. So that's why. So I will create for the CTOR me for the constructor. I inject for the I also it okay, this is the also it. This is the front. Okay, after that I will create for that. If you want to create for the private read only, you need to click for the control dot. At this time, we will create for the property assign this creation, this creation assign. So at this time, I will use for the status. So this is the first injection. Another is we need to also inject for the what is that, login. So that's why I will also use the logger. Logger means we need to log everything at the console. So that's why this is the logger. Okay, we also need to create for the login create and assign. Okay, oh sorry, this not correct. Control dot, I need to create for the create and assign field logger. Okay, that's the correct. And then I also create for the standard. Okay, this is the require dependency injection. And then I will need to create for the login. So that's why I will create for the login API. Here is the login M1. Here is the login M1. In the login M1, we will need for the login model. So that's why this here is the login model. I will reference for the TTO graphic. And then this is the validation. If the JSON payload is not correct, it will return so like that. And then if the JSON is correct, and then we will log in this class, in this implementation, and then generate for the tokens or like that. Yes, this is the login endpoint. And then another for the we also need for the register endpoint. So that's why I will create for the login register endpoint. So this is the, let me format. So this is the login endpoint at this time. Also do you remember we also need to declare for that here who is the administrator or who is the public user. So that's why we also need to create for the user role class. It is also kinds of detail. So that's why I will create in the class the user role class. So in the user role class, I will create for the two kinds of role, administrator roles and public role. So that's why I will create for the administrator with the constant type. Another kind for the user means public user. Okay. So these are does not require. So that's why I remove it. Alright, so let us continue for the. Okay, here is the correct way. If one user register, we need to add for the admin roles or user role like this. So we don't need for the declaration. So that's why I remove it. Alright. So almost gone. So let me test for the API. So in the database, we also need to declare three kinds of table. These are, do you remember? Here is my testing database. What the connection name is? What is the connection name? What is the database? Simple database. Okay, all right. We need to check for the simple database. Okay, in the simple database, we need to check for the three kinds of table. The one is ASP.NET user. Let me select for this table. So select. So this is the user. So I will remove this kinds of user. so I will remove it. So select it, delete, select it, delete. Okay, another kind we also need to define for the role. So that's why I also prepare for the data in this database. So at this time we can see two kinds of role: administrator roles and public role. Administrator roles and public user role. And then we also need another kinds of table for the mapping the users and role. At this time we need to know for this table user is with net user and role. At this time I will check for the data. Okay, there's no role in this table. All right, so let me run for this code. Find click the F5 so like this. Okay, it is ready. So I will go to the endpoint. So look at host door. Okay, this is the Soga UI. So that's why I will get for the login and register. So firstly I need to create for the register. So that's why firstly the username is mg, mg@gmail.com. So password is like that. So I will copy it like this. At this time the data will be registered with registration number. Oh, what is that? Oh, sorry. For you do remember? So let me start my project. So in the controller we inject the IO service. So we need to register at the middleware. So that's why in there I need to register in there. So that's why I need to register beta.service as transient scope. Okay, for the iRegister comma or service. We need to register for this service because it is the dependency injection. Oh, sorry, we need to also define for the schemas in this middleware. So in there we need to register for the identities and for kinds of related data. So we need to declare. So I already prepared for that. So let me copy from my node. So here is yes, in there I will paste in here. So what does it mean? This is the application user that you want. We already defined. So we need to reference for this require, and then we also need to use for the identity. Yes, we don't have go identity. So this is the role base, and then we also need to declare for the JWT configuration. This is the JWT configuration to generate the token. So here the configuration setting. What does it mean? This is the token validation parameter. One, this is the dynamic configuration. So we already defined in the application of JSON. So we need to reach for this configuration and we need to declare for the token. So this is the config and this is the encoding. Encoding is from the system.dat. Okay, So when we need for the configuration, we need to declare for the config variable. So at this time, I will declare for the config for the data and the var config equal data dot configuration. This is the variable to read the JSON keys and value from the application of JSON setting. So, and then we also need to add for the authentication and authorization. So firstly, app.u authentication another one is app.u authorization. So this is the correct way, because firstly we need to please be careful. We need to this is the correct order. You need to define for the authentication. After that, you need to define for the authorization. Okay, all right. So it is already add for our configuration. So let it run again. So that's why I will run the F5. Alright, so let me go to this one. I will copy this one and then I will refresh for the Soccer API. So after that, I will register with previous one. So control paste. After that, so let me trace for this data is correct or not. So that's why I will breakpoint in the register. So I will breakpoint. After that, I will click from the execution pattern. I will click at this time. That is start waiting in there. So I will go to the all right. So for the authorization, we need to create for the expression. This is the authorization service. This means when user create, we need to create for the model. So at this time, we need to create the model. And the model we create for in the registration. Here the registration model. Registration model is we required for the username, email, and password. This is the registration model. This model will be used in that authorization and interface. For the interface, we have for the implementation for the authorized service. In there, we implement for the registration function. This function, what does do for finding for the username, and then the user it already exists, so share will show for the username. If the user does not have, the user create and with username and password. And then we also add for the role. This is the defining the role. And then when the user created, the same message to the UI. And then another is for the login. So at this time, we also need for the login model. So at the login model, we create for the login model. So for the login model, we also need require attribute, and this is the attribute for the user validation, for the required validation. And then another for the username and password. When the user login, this model will get and collect from the data from the UI, but from the API JSON. So that's why it is the model. Then here is the login model, login implementation. When the user is login, this user is exit or not, or password or field or not. After that, it generates for the row according to the row, and then it generates for the token. Token is mean for the claim base. So this is defined in the application or app.json, and there we also define for that issue, who is the user, who is the audience, what is the secret. So this is the secret, and then this reach from this generate token. So this is the claim base role and claim base. So that's why it also read from that secret key and then generate for the token and then respond to the UI. I respond to that application, respond to the response body. So this is the authorization service, and then we also need to add for that authorization controller. Authorization controller is inject for the authorization service, and then here the login endpoint. So when the user login and the data is valid or no, the user if the model is valid, and then generate for the token. After that is respond to the token message. This is the login endpoint. Another for the register endpoint is the register endpoint. So if user want to register, we need to build for this registration model and then check the payload is correct or not. After that is called to the services. So this is the calling for the method. So and then we can check, and this is the implementation. So let it run like this. So let's run. All right, so I will go to the Postman. Let me refresh it. Oh, sorry, what? Oh, yes, this is the ready. So firstly, so let me go to the table. So here are the three table for the user table, row tables, and ASP.NET row table. So let me check for the user table. Here is the user. So there's no user. So I will register from the endpoint. Yes. When I username is mg and password is mg@gmail.com. Sorry. Okay, password is password I already prepared for my password. Password is like this. So this is a simple password. Yes. 101. Yes. So I will register like this. Yes, we create for the user. So let me check in the table. So here is the username, and then let me check for this row. Where is that? This is the row table. Yes, this is the row ID is 2. Row ID 2 is the admin row. So mg is the admin, so admin row. So we can log in with this user in that username number. So let me copy the whole one, and then we will log in, and we want to generate for the token. We does not need the email. Oh, yes, we can get for the token. So what I want to do is, if the user, let me test this API does not have for the authentication. Every user can get for the data, and every user can get and can put. So right now I will create for the file, and another is new product, and price is 100, quantity is 5. Yes, every user can create from this board, but what I want to do is, if user is admin, we can create, but if the user is not admin, we cannot create. So at this time we need to update for the for the product controller. So I will add for the authorized attribute. Yes, at this time all of the API cannot access with an authorization. So for the cutting, there is allow, it will be allowed for the anonymous user. So that's why this is the anonymous user. Anonymous user can see all of the product and all of their product, and this two endpoint anonymous user can accept, but the user is role user and role is user role dot admin. So what does mean? This it mean if the user is admin, so we can create for the we can create the data. We can create the data with admin role, and the user, if the user role is admin, for the update and delete. Okay. So I will write again. All right. So when I create again for the create, so the user can check all of the product. Yes, the user can check all of the product, but the user cannot create like this. So I this is new product 2. Yes, we cannot authorize because you need to be a admin. So at this time I will create like this, and at this time we need to pass for the period token at the header. So that's why I will create like this, and then firstly I need to get for the token. So that's why I will create for the token. So this is not the token. Oh, come on. So let me copy from the token. Let me copy the token. Yes, I got the token, and then I will create like this. What is that? What is the error? Product key is duplicate. Oh, sorry, this 4 is already have. So I will create for the 6. So in there I add for the area. If let me delete for this one. So 6 orange 2. At this time I will create. At this time the user cannot create because the user it does not allow for the public. So at this time we need to pass for the authorization attribute in there, and then we need to pass for the token. So before pass the token, we need to add for the period, period in front of the token. So that's why period, and then I will copy from this token, and then I will create like this. 403, what is that? Forbidden, 43 means forbidden, not forbidden. Let me create the endpoint. Let me copy for the row is admin. Row is admin. So I will generate for that token again. Yes. What is the row? Let me check for the row. Yes, row is correct. So Oh, sorry, because I got it. So if the user, we already set that in the controller. So this API where we allow the user is admin, but the user right now, do you remember it? The user is MG. MG is not admin, so that's why the user cannot create the role. So at that time, I need to update manually for if you want to for the admin. And so okay, so that's a good way for the user. So the user can create the record, but the user cannot update and user role cannot update and cannot delete. So this is a good way. So let us try again. I will register for the new one, new user. Hold on, stop. I will create for the new user. So this is the admin. I manually apply it, fight, and then I will create the new user. The username is so okay. So at gmail.com. Okay. I will register like this. Yes, the user register. So at this time I will generate for the token according to this data. So I will generate for the token. Yes. All right. So guys, and then I will pass for the video token, and then the user can create the record. All right. Let me check. Update. Oh, this is not user. Only user can create the record. This is the admin. So the admin also want to create. So at this time I need to add two kinds of row in there. Two kinds of row. If you want to pass two kinds of row, okay, let me copy. Okay, so how do I set in there? So by using with the comma. Okay, all right, so we can add on like this. User row dot admin. What does mean? So we want to utilize that. Oh my god. All right, so let's like this. So what does mean? Both users and admin can create a project, but the only user role, only admin role can update and delete. This is the authorization attribute. So I will write again. Yes, so firstly I will log in with admin. So this is the admin role. So okay, I will get for this token, and then I will paste in the header with period. Yes, the user can create, the main user can create the product record. And then with I will want to try another login for the what is that? I will replace this user. Okay, this user is user 0. So I will copy some. I will try to update this user, but it cannot create. So here is where is the product control? Oh yes, this. So the user want to delete for this data. Oh yes, for the 2, but it cannot authorize. Okay, after that, he will try from with his token. So let's do the token. Yes, it does not authorize. This time they trying to add authorize attribute. This time it will respond for the 4-3 because he cannot authorize and he cannot do the delete action because he is user role. So the user is admin, he can do it, but the user role is public user role, he cannot do so like that. So that's all. This is my simple code. I will update these. I will push the lines of code to the GitHub, and then you can check for that. So thank you very much for your time, and see you next video.